Let me be clear. The Postal Service is ready to deliver the nation's mail-in ballots.
The U.S. Postal Service insisting they're ready for this coming flood of mail-in ballots, despite concerns raised by some election officials throughout the country. Many Americans, as you know, will soon be able to cast their votes, including those in Wisconsin, where absentee ballots have now been sent out to those who requested them. To discuss all of this, we've brought in head of the U.S. Election Assistance Committee, Commissioner Ben Hovland, excuse me, sir. We appreciate it. Unanimously confirmed by the Senate, a nonpartisan figure. But this is a tricky issue. I mean, usually your work, this commission's been around for about 2 decades, is low profile. But now it's as high a profile as you could ever be. So how are you navigating all of the issues out in the states, these concerns about mail-in ballots, about the security of the elections? What are you doing to assist voters and reassure people about integrity of the electoral system?
The Election Assistance Commission was set up to be what I call a customer service agency, because our state and local election officials run elections all across the country. And so we support them in any way we can. But now, 47 days out, the election is here. Ballots go out. With the military and overseas ballots, the deadline to send those out is Saturday. So ballots will be mailed out all across the country. And so at this point, we are in the election, and we continue to support the local officials who run our elections.
Give me 2 specific examples of things your commission is doing.
Well, there have been a number of things we've done. Of course, the information environment that we're in is very challenging. And we know that the best place to go for trusted source information is your state and local election official. And so we've worked on a number of toolkits and resources to help amplify those voices, your state and local officials, the people who run elections in your community, and help them to get that trusted information to you so that you know how to vote, you know how to participate. At this point, again, in the cycle, it's time to get registered to vote. It's time to get your registration updated at your current address. And then it's time to make a plan to vote, to figure out if you're going to vote by mail, early in person, or on election day. And so providing resources to those local officials to get that trusted source information out to their voters.
In the wake of the 2020 election, we know many states tinkered with their voting laws to varying degrees. If you're a voter out there in the country, maybe you're in a battleground state, maybe you're not, should you be calling a certain agency nationally, your commission, somewhere in the state, to inquire about what's necessary to vote in terms of identification, if any is required, proof of residency, et cetera?
The best source for that information is your local election official. We have how elections are administered across the country varies a little by state. At the end of the day, there are those commonalities. Of course, there's federal law that has to be followed. And then the other big thing is that our elections are transparent. The people who run them are professionals, and they follow the laws of their state. But there really are differences, when early voting starts, if you have to have an excuse to vote by mail or not, and the best place to get that is from your local election official.
When you sit back in your office and you look at the map, what keeps you up at night? What worries you?
One of the great things about my job is that I get to travel all around the country. I don't even know how many states I've been to this year, but in every one of those, what I see are local election officials who have been working tirelessly to make sure that they are ready for November. And so the confidence that gives me, seeing that preparation that's gone into it, seeing the work that has gone into ensuring that Americans are able to participate, is something that gives me a lot of confidence in the process. And again, at this point in the cycle, there are things that Americans can do to help out those local election officials. And that's things like I mentioned earlier, getting your registration updated. Vote.gov is a great place to go for that, but also making that plan to vote so you know how you're going to participate.
And just quickly, finally here, are there enough election workers in this country, or are we seeing a gap in some states?
At this point, there's still a few jurisdictions, or there are some jurisdictions that have needs, particularly generally your poll workers have a partisan balance. So in some places of the country, one particular party or the other is needed. There's always a need for language assistance in a number of jurisdictions. And so again, the best place to find that out is your local election official. But again, we're going to have about 1 million Americans who will, we say volunteer, but they generally get paid, who will be that frontline customer service face of our democracy. I've done it a number of times, and for anyone who's thinking about it, it's a great experience, and I would encourage them to check out helpamericavote.gov for more information on how to serve as a poll worker, and they can reach out to their local election official. There might still be a chance for this election, but certainly they can get signed up to serve in the future.
Commissioner Ben Hovland, we appreciate you stopping by, part of the nonpartisan Federal Commission looking at election assistance. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.